There's numerous ways in opening girls on the streets during day game, night game, whatever it may be. There's not just one method or one way in opening girls. If you've been following my stuff for any while now, you would have known that I use maybe 3 different indirect pickup formats in order to open conversation, to strike a conversation up with any girl on the street, that is. So it is not just one way of doing this. However, I have a way which I periodically use in opening girls on the streets, in coffee shops, at the bakery, wherever. If you want to open a girl and you're somewhat, let's say you're in a headspace where you don't quite know what to say, how to start the conversation, how to even get it rolling after you do open the girl by breaking the ice. Well, how about assumption openers? How about if you assume something false, knowingly false, about the girl, or about something she's doing, or something she has on, something she's wearing, an insignia on a shirt, whatever it may be. Use an assumption, a false assumption opener in order to break the ice and start a conversation with the girl. Here's a great example of me doing that just the other day.
Oh, I thought it was for Virginia Tech. Okay.
No, Virginia Tech is
I think it's
orange. They're orange.
Oh, they're orange.
They're like orange and brown.
Yeah, some
maroon,
funny. Yeah, between that, some funny maroon brown, and I think it would be a T also.
Yeah.
VP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Vanderbilt is in Tennessee.
It's in Nashville.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm sort of
Good.
good. Yeah. Oh, give myself a pat.
Good job.
Yeah. You look fit actually, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was very enamored with the idea of NCAA sports, college football, basketball, and so forth. So as a teen, I was like totally into collegiate sports. So I got familiarized with the logos of these different universities and colleges. So with this girl here, I knew that the V on her hat stood for Vanderbilt University, but I now assume, and this is contrived, or this was planned, I assumed, in order to open a girl, that it stood for Virginia Tech, which I knew it didn't, because that would be a VT. But it doesn't matter. This is just an assumption opener, falsely assuming something in order to build a conversation. Now, here is why it's best that you assume in the negative. Let's say I had said to the girl, oh, that V stands for Vanderbilt, right? She would say, yeah. But where does it go from there? She doesn't give much feedback. So the burden would be on me to contribute much more to the conversation in order to keep the flow going. Now, when you assume something wrong or in the negative, it generates more conversation and more of an explanation, as you had seen in the video clip just then. So when you assume something, you always want to do it in the negative if you're trying to get a conversation flowing upon opening the girl and building dialogue upon that. For instance, a girl could be walking up the street and I'm going towards her. I can say, hey, the C on your shirt, does it stand for Clemson? And if it doesn't, the girl then must, to herself, she's put on the spot and she feels an impulsive drive to correct that. Whenever you assume something wrong about a person or anything about them or what they're doing, what they said and so forth, we feel an urge to clarify it. But if you assume something positively in a positive or correctly, there's nothing to explain. There's no elaboration needed, right? So when you assume something wrongly, as humans are pressured to clarify what it actually is. If you have trouble opening a conversation and keeping it going, always assume something about the girl in the negative or falsely assuming something about her, about something she has on, something she's doing, you know, an insignia on her hat, on her shoes, whatever it may be. And as you've seen in the video clip, this will spark a conversation where you can go back and forth. All right? But if you do it, if you assume something correctly, it doesn't leave much room for an elaborate conversation. So that is a tip for the day on how to open girls indirect.